Hey y'all, today we're going to be making some yummy stuffed bell pepper soup. So to get started, of course, we're going to need some bell peppers. So I had this bag of bell peppers. I'd gotten a big pack of bell peppers at Sam's. So I diced those up, kind of meal prepping, just getting some things done because who's going to eat that many bell peppers in one sitting, right? So I just cut them up and then I put them over in the freezer and I just pull them out when I need them, like today. And then I also had this one little lonely green bell pepper in the refrigerator that it looked like it was on its last leg. So I said, well, let me go ahead and cut that up and I'll throw that in there too. And of course, the more color you add, the prettier your soup is, right? So that's what I ended up doing. So I just went ahead and I chopped up this green bell pepper. Just, take the seeds out, take the little veins out, whatever you call, what are they called? The little ribs. You know what I'm saying? Take those out because they're a little bit bitter sometimes. And then just dice them up. And then I went ahead and I diced up an onion. Now, if you don't like a ton of onion, you can do half of an onion if you want to. But this makes a pretty big, pot of soup. And onion is always good in soup. So just dice your onion up just like you did your bell pepper. And then we're going to get started cooking this, y'all. So to your soup pot or Dutch oven or whatever you have, add a couple of tablespoons of olive oil or whatever oil you have. I always say use whatever you've got. And then we're going to add in our onions and our bell peppers. And I always like to put my onions and bell peppers in. Well, a lot of times I'll put them in, before I put my meat in and just kind of give them a little bit of a head start. Because to me, I like mine really soft. And if I cook them at the same time as my meat, like my meat is done way before my vegetables are. So I decided I would start with my onions and my bell peppers, and I just gave them, maybe just 2 minutes I cooked them, just a couple minutes. And then I just put a little tiny bit of salt in there because that'll help the onions sweat, You know what I'm saying? Pull that liquid out of there. Get them all cooked up nice and neat. So then I had this little bit of hamburger meat left over in this Ziploc bag. I had used the rest of it for something else. And normally I would have used a little bit more hamburger meat than this. This is not quite a pound, but this is what I had, so that's what I used. But just use about a pound of whatever meat that you're using. You could do ground turkey, you could do sausage, whatever you like to put in your stuffed bell peppers, that's what we're going to put in this soup. So you're going to cook that until it's all nice and, the meat is browned and your vegetables are soft, and then drain all that grease out of there. So once you get your grease drained out, you're going to go ahead and add 1 can, and this is a 15-ounce can of diced tomatoes. And then we're going to add 1 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. And like I said, we're putting in this soup what you would put in a stuffed bell pepper, or at least what I put in my stuffed bell peppers. And I will link that video for y'all in case you want to check that out if you want to make some regular stuffed bell peppers if you're not a soup person. So once you get your tomatoes and your tomato sauce put in there, you're just going to mix that up really good. And then we're going to add 4 cups of beef broth. And then this is just one of those 32-ounce containers. So if you have one of those, dump the whole container in there. If, you're just, using bouillon cubes and water, or if you're using, cans or whatever, about 4 cups. Now, if you don't like this much liquid in your soup, then you don't have to add quite as much. Or if you like more, like the juice in your soup, then you can add a little bit more if that's the way you want to do it. Just do it how you and your family like it. So now we're going to season it up a little bit. And again, this is what I put in my stuffed bell peppers, but feel free to put whatever seasonings you like. I put a little bit of Italian seasoning, a little bit of onion powder, and then I added a little bit of garlic powder, my big old humongous Sam's container of garlic powder that I will still go through in no time at all because I put it on everything. So you're going to get that added right on in there. And like I said, if you don't like onion, garlic, whatever, you don't have to put it in there. You can just put salt and pepper if that's what you like. And then, of course, I added a little bit of Tony's in here because, I like my bell pepper soup, or any kind of soup for that matter. I like it to have some flavor, y'all, because, sometimes if you add a bunch of broth to stuff, it kind of, I don't know, like you need to add a lot of seasoning. I feel like the more liquid you have, the more seasoning you need. You know what I'm saying? So then I added also in a little bit of salt and pepper. And then just mix that around real good till you get, all your little stuff mixed in. And then we are going to let this cook. And Lord, I had some little onions stuck on the side over there. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell y'all, I put a couple of tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce up in here too. Because why not? I love the flavor of it. So I decided to add it in there. But again, you don't have to add it in there if you don't like it. So just stir it up real good. And then we're going to let it come to a boil. And we're going to put the lid on it. And we're going to let it simmer for, I don't know, as long as you want to let it simmer. I did mine probably for about an hour. And then I had already cooked some rice, just some regular old long grain white rice. And I had it sitting over to the side because we're going to add that in at the end. If you add it in too early, your rice will get real mushy in there. So, just don't add it too early. And make sure your rice is cooked, when you add it in there. So I just went ahead and added, I don't know, a couple of cups of rice. Now you can add as little or as much as you like. If you like a whole lot of rice, like if you want it to be thicker, then you can add more rice if you want to. But if you don't like as much rice, then you don't have to add as much in there. Okay, you see what I'm saying? You just make it however you want to make it. Now I put this much in here, and then I think I added just a tiny bit more because I had made a little bit more than what I had originally thought, because I thought, well, I'll put it in the refrigerator and eat it later if I want to. But I ended up just adding it all in there, and look at that, y'all. Isn't that just so pretty? It is so pretty. So you're going to want to let this simmer for a little bit because you want that rice to soak up some of the flavor of that soup. You just don't want to overcook it. I probably let it simmer for about 30 minutes, and that was it. That's all you need. So this is our soup, y'all. Look how good this looks. And I'm telling you, if you like stuffed bell peppers, you're going to love this soup. It is so dang good. Tastes just like a stuffed bell pepper, except it's a little juicier, of course. But whatever you put inside your stuffed bell pepper is what we put in this pan to make this soup. So the last thing that I added right before I ate was a little bit of mozzarella cheese, because of course when you're making stuffed bell peppers, for me, I mix the mozzarella in with my filling, and then I also top it with mozzarella. So I thought I needed to put some mozzarella on my soup. So that's what I did. But anyway, that's it, y'all, for this video. I will pop y'all another video over here, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.